Illumination. This is a poetic expression for the awakened mind, the essence and function of the awakened mind, how it flows, how it responds selflessly, yet responsive. But there is a principle to silent illumination that's applicable in the working and the practice, right? Selfless response, responsiveness. Right? One of the ways we reify and solidify the self is the container, our stories, words, and language. By nature, words and language bifurcates. It's just the nature of words. It's very useful, but the nature of words and language is to it separates, demarcates, discriminate, you could say, and put a label on container. It's just the nature of words and language. And being linguistic beings, this is one of the most effective ways our sense of self-referentiality is solidified. So the Chan Zen tradition targets this directly. The first principle of Chan is don't depend on words and language. Words and language point not to the things themselves. They point to other words and language. See? They are very useful because they're not just labels, words. There's all sorts of associative meaning, nuances that we have accumulated, conditioned through those words. You know? So on a subliminal level, the words that you use actually shapes your experience. So in the interview today, I was telling some people, they're saying a lot of obstruction. Or some other people think resistance, the words that they use. So your body is actually listening to you. That's the message you're giving your body. I'm experiencing obstruction. So you're actually stimulating vexations, stress. You see? Words and language, they solidify, reify, congeal, shape our experience, creating a container. So we have to be very careful of how we use our language. So obstacles, you have to imagine them, rephrase them to be opportunities. Things like everything's impermanent. It just means new beginnings. Yeah. The Buddhist language of no self, emptiness, just means relationships. The Tao is made up of non-Tao. Guogu is made up of non-Guogu. All these other conditions. Relationships. So ancient India, all the volunteers, 义工菩萨们，大家都进来。We can get Iris, maybe encourage them to come. So ancient India, ancient India, the way they express things linguistically and through their language, the way they articulate liberation, tend to be apathetic language. So expressing things in the negative. Don't do this, don't do that. Everything's impermanent and empty, no self. When it came to China, the Chan tradition, Chinese people did not like that, right? So the intrinsic view of the human nature in the Chinese tradition, and by extension, Korea and Japan, the whole East Asia impacted by the formation of China, right? They all spoke Chinese. They all wrote in Chinese. Chinese is the language for the whole East Asia, parts of Vietnam too, Southeast Asia. So the language shapes the kind of self in that civilization. You know, we're linguistic beings. So the orientation of the Chinese is usually positivist. Right? So the way it expresses things, and the Buddhism that took root there, and how it expresses itself there, tend to be different. You know, it's a bit about language. So I noticed today in interview, many of you just unconsciously, the way you use language, the way you express your experiences needs to be adjusted. You have to be careful. Because it's not only language, what comes with it, all the baggage, what comes with it, these associative meanings and experiences. And your body is listening to you when you are describing yourself this way. Right? So, for example, trauma. When I was growing up, my dad, my mom kicked my ass. It's just, we don't say, oh, I'm traumatized by it. It's just, that's the norm. You know, if I were to look back, you don't have to describe it as trauma. You can experience as interesting experiences. I have certain patterns that's quite interesting, fascinating, right? And then the door of opportunity, the door of healing completely open up. Do you believe it? You know? So I often say, IAG, it's all good. It's all good. Why are things all good? Certainly there's social injustice, corruption. Many people are suffering. It's not all good. But we have to recognize to you it's not good. Do you know that our current state of affairs, some people are really happy about it. There are people, you know, it's unimaginable, I know, but there are people, you know. And also, when we only see things through the myopic vision of our own perspective, they don't really turn out that way. From the long expanse of time. Things that seem doesn't fit actually can spark revolution, can spark change, reimagination. Imagine if everything is smooth, good from your perspective. You probably would not grow. Your inner resources will not be able to come out. You won't have the opportunities to tap into the inner resources. So things that are difficult, struggle. Interesting. Yeah. Fascinating. Open. Avail yourself to possibilities. So at the working end of practice, how to apply the teaching of impermanence, how to apply the teaching of no self or causes and conditions, dependent origination, not conceptually, because words encounter difficulties, possibilities. When you start to myopically reify things into things attached to certain ideas and notions, you train yourself to see them as relationships. Relationships. Does that make sense? Enmeshed, many causes and conditions. But our tendency is to solidify, reify the words and language that we use to put a container in. That's why the Buddha said that often people miss this. Yeah. Buddha said, when you see an object, you already lost mindfulness. When you hear a sound, which you're labeled as sound as this and that, or whatever you think it is, you already killed that sound. Things are not what they seem. You can use words and language, but use words and language to further, to deepen your potential, right? To nourish possibilities. You get it? Yeah. Yeah. So what seemed to be not so good, maybe it's not like that. It's not what you think it is. Yeah. In the Lotus Sutra, the Buddha gave prediction to many of his disciples' future Buddhahood because of their practice. Right? He gave prediction to Devadatta. You all know, who doesn't know who Devadatta is? Devadatta tried to assassinate his cousin, assassinate the Buddha. Not this lifetime, countless lifetimes. In his present lifetime, tried to assassinate him, I think, twice. Once. Why does he want to assassinate him? Because he wants to be the leader of the Sangha. He saw the Buddha coming, the route that he took for alms begging, push a boulder to roll down, to crush the Buddha. Didn't succeed. Second time, know the Buddha's route he made an elephant drunk and smashed the elephant. The elephant just came tramping down towards the Buddha. The Buddha's like, good boy. The elephant like, he did it. I didn't mean to do it. He did it. Twice. The Buddha gave a prediction of his Buddhahood, and the other arhats like, what are you talking about? This guy your cousin tried to assassinate. The Buddha said, because of him, I'm able to perfect the paramitas. So what seemed to be negative, your boss, co-worker, parents, friends, these things, opportunities. Whatever came the Buddha way, the Buddha transformed into opportunities. Yeah. Heart, mind open. I was attendant to my teacher about 10 years. I studied with him about 30. And 30 counting the first intensive retreat. I've known him for longer. Very curious. When I'm attending to my teacher, we go to Czechoslovakia, Russia, different parts of the United States, different places, Poland. I'm just there like an idiot. I'm just experiencing this. My teacher used to carry with him a small notepad. Notepad's about this big. Wherever we went, whatever trips that we went, stop by different things. After he comes back, he produces a book. He sees so much. The mind of curiosity. He sees so much. He's able to absorb so much. Whereas me, it's like a dance. Things come in, silent illumination. Nothingness, blank, right? Knowledge. So mind and heart completely veiled. And criticism that he received. I was by his side, very close. Among his disciples, I had to wake up before he woke up, go to bed after he wakes up. And go to bed after he goes to bed. And he doesn't go to bed that early. So writing, working for the sake of sentient beings. So I saw always with him how he related to other people. So none of this is book knowledge. None of this is like scriptural doctrine. Just observe him, how his wisdom functions, how his responsiveness. And people criticize him. I remember one time we were Midwest somewhere, giving a talk, a lecture at a university. So our teacher's talking about the principle of Zen. 40-minute, 50-minute talk, blah, 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 blah. So obviously there's some Zen practitioners in the audience, those ones that are really performative. So after the talk, my teacher says, any questions? I'm the translator. This one guy. You've talked a lot. Where is the meat? The whole room was like, it's like silent. My teacher, not affected, relaxed. I said, come to a retreat that starts tomorrow. We'll give you some meat. You want to eat some meat? Come to the retreat. Just shut him up. Usually, oh my God, how is he going to respond? I was like waiting for my teacher's response, But afterwards, he came. My teacher said, oh, practice Zen. He said, yes, I practice with so and so. Oh. So that's what you learn. Did a prostration. You can't mimic like Lingji, Ring's eyes, screaming, scolding. That's in the past, people do that. It's just some people are just like that. Like Da Hui, he likes to scold people. Lingji, he likes to scream. In fact, he categorized 4 types of scream. One is take away the person, leave the object. Second, take away the object, leave the person. Third, take away the object and the person. Fourth, all good, leave everything. So I don't really know. I wasn't there, so I don't know how he screamed. Maybe different tones or something. Or like, oh, whatever. That's just Lingji is like that. Hongzhi, he likes to write. This guy writes on so much stuff. It's just every practitioner have their own style, including the Buddha's disciples. They have different, even though they're liberated, they have different habit tendencies, styles. Like one of the Buddha's disciple is just like to scold people. There's no vexations, no hatred. Three poisons: greed, hatred, ignorance, come. But it's like you dump the wine out of the bottle, and you smell the wine. You feel something that's stench there. It's kind of like that. His habit. There's other guy, Buddha's cousin, Nanda, Nanto. He loves women. Loves women. Love them. He almost disrobed. And then the Buddha said, why you I can't do this. I'm constantly thinking about so and so. So and so. You think she's beautiful? Yes, she's beautiful. Why you haven't seen beauty? What do you mean? Is someone more beautiful? Yeah, come. The Buddha took him by the hand to the celestial realm, the apsaras. The flowing flowers, drapery, singing. And he went up there. It was like, oh my God. Maybe not, oh my God. It's like, holy soul, It's beautiful. It's like, what do you think about that? The Buddha said, oh, they make her look like monkey, one that's on earth. It's like, how did I get here? How did I get here? Well, you're going to practice samadhi. Samadhi? Okay. I'm ready. So he's practicing samadhi. Everyone's laughing at him. Or like, I thought you were going to disrobe. What happened? See, the Buddha's first conversion to the majority of his Sangha, they're all privileged aristocrats. All of them. They come with baggage. They used to get what I want. So you have all these different personality types. So like this, he felt great shame because he's practicing in order to get to the heavenly realm, to hang out with the nymphs. So then gave rise to great contrition, sense of repentance. And he continued to practice. Became an arhat. And the Buddha said, do you want to have a trip? Says, no, it's okay. It's all good. But even when he did that, he still had the tendency of checking out the babes. It's in the scriptures. Every time Buddha gave a talk, Nanda like this. Well, looking in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
There's one over there. And some of the lay people, the lay women, felt really uncomfortable. Really honest. Why is he looking at us? Complain to the Buddha. Yeah, the Buddha said, it's just a habit. There's no vexations there, no craving there. He's just used to. Oh, yeah, checking out no vexations. Yeah, all these personality types. So habit tendencies. We have to expose them. And part of the Bodhisattva path is different. The Buddha, no habit tendencies. Arhats, yeah. One time, you guys want to hear more stories?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Mahakashyapa, asceticism, number one. He has a habit tendency too. Why? He's always rooting for the underdogs, helping the poor. That's a kind of discrimination. Right? When he goes alms begging, in order for the impoverished, the reason they got there, the reason their life this time is impoverished is because of their greed. So he always alms beg in the impoverished section of the village so that they can generate merit of giving food to an arhat. The Buddha said, scold him. Equanimity. Don't do that. Scold. Every one of them, they are. If you read their stories, right? Shariputra, wisdom number one. Wisdom number one. One time the Buddha was with him. They were strolling. And the hawk was chasing after the bird. The bird was trembling with fear. Come next to Shariputra. Still trembling. Shariputra was astonished. When the bird sat next to the Buddha, stopped trembling. Shariputra asked, how is that possible? There's no killing, there's no hatred, aversion, three poisons absent. How can sentient beings still fear your disciple? The Buddha says, you still have to have the tendency of killing. Eons ago, long time ago, still there. So we have all kinds of habit tendencies. We have all kinds of our particular ways of framing things, trauma, way of seeing things. Right? You're going to practice the Bodhisattva path. Realize full Buddhahood. Sentient beings, the reason they don't gel with you is because there's some causes and conditions there, unresolved. So you have to work through the difficulties, work through the difficult people, the challenges in your life. You can't replicate the same kind of mind that got you there, right? You experience tension with people and you tense them back. No, that's you reinforcing this habit tendency, you see? So what you need to do is, I was telling some of the people in the interview today, the things that come up. The things that come up, not obstructions. They're opportunities. I went the long route, getting back to the point I was saying. Tell some stories, make you guys laugh, relax a little bit, and then go to the point. When things come up, they are really opportunities. Really opportunities. What you feel, how you react. Because obviously other people see the situation differently. You see it as a tension, as an obstacle, right? So that means something's here. It doesn't gel with your values. You may feel justified, righteous. If the Buddha can not only forgive, the Buddha's perfection of paramitas comes from difficult people. You've been learning from the Buddha, gotta work through that. And we begin right here. Right here. The things that arise feel kind of resistance inside you. You want this moment to be other than what it is. You want to do silent illumination. You don't want wandering thoughts. Like how you relate to wandering thoughts. How many of you like wandering thoughts? Like it's entertainment, right? A lot of times difficulties, right? That exposes where you are. Thank you. It's all good. So you don't want to replicate the same negativity. What you want to do is talk about switching containers, right? Obstacles. Here comes an opportunity. It's all good. So the message that you're sending to your body, to your cells, to your central nervous system is that of, it's all good. Here it comes. And you face it with something that I said today. Relax, round, right? Interest. You remember that? Interest. You avail yourself. Interest. Fascinating. Let's see where it goes. Leg pain. How many of you have leg pains today? Oh, a lot of people. How did you feel? Great. Great? It's a good beginning. Nostalgic. Great. If there's a little bit of angst, right? So, relax. Because when there's angst, there's tension. When there's tension, there's stress. The amygdala is contacting to hippocampus. Say, hey, you guys, we're on the threat now. Send out talk to the pituitary gland. Send out those cortisols. Getting ready for fight or flight. They're communicating based on your perception. So you have to short circuit that mechanism. First, relax. Second, tap into the feeling tone. Exactly what we do in the beginning of each sitting. Relax, ground, check into the feeling tone, right? You need to dial it in, like radio channel, from tension, I don't like it, dial it into. It's all good. Let's see where it goes. Interest, fascination. If your physical discomfort is caused by injury, you're going to take care of it. Change the posture. If it's caused by poor posture, like your posture is causing the pain. Like you're not used to sitting full lotus, but because of some crazy idea, I'm gonna sit full lotus, post retreat. It's stupid. So the pain come from your grasping mind, aversion, and resistance. And you just don't do that. Don't do that. Because pain is just you're not used to this posture, natural. Old injury and so on. Relax, ground, feeling though. All right, you do you, I do me. You do you, go ahead. I don't know what's going to happen. When you think my legs will fall, no, it's not. I become paralyzed, maybe. No. Localize it. Localize it. Of all the three places, three places that having pain, which one is more? Just left knee or left ankle. Okay, what about the other two? The other two is all right. And then containers, right? Don't label it pain. Label it interesting. How fascinating. Marvelous. Let's see where it takes me. Embodied experience. Pain is not pain. Pain is made up of all kinds of experiences, a whole range. Sometimes it's like a knife jabbing, sometimes it's just numbing, sometimes it's just kind of heaviness, sometimes it's heat. There's all kinds of fascinating things that's happening. So you're relaxed, your sympathetic nervous system is not activated by the flight. It's not really activated because your perception is different. The pain is still there though, or whatever the experience is, but it's just fascinating. And your threshold greatly expands. The reason we have pain is because if it's not caused by stupidity, caused by old injuries and so on, it's just because, old injuries, your muscle healed, bones healed, but there's a blockage there, energy block there. So if you just relax into it, actually, it will penetrate through. Your energy will go through, and the pain will subside. How many of you have experienced this? Yeah. Just relax into it. Don't make anything into a thing. And then, before you know it, period is over. Unless, of course, Alan forgets to hit the bell. Right? But he's doing a good job. Right? And once the bell is rung, here's what you do. Still relax. You let go of the posture. And I want you to do this. Within 1 minute, I want you to familiarize how the pain vanishes. At most 2 minutes, usually within 60 seconds. It's gone. At least bearable. So I want you to gain personal experience, embodied experiencing the illusory nature of pain. Let it go in deeper. Then you massage. Where is it now? Before it's such a big deal. What is it? Bring it on. If you really, Alan's not ringing, he's like in samadhi, silently illuminating, right? So you're like, just change a posture. Same thing. Once you change a posture within a minute, embodied experiencing the vanishing, dissipation, that sensation, familiarize. Then you do your massage. Can you do that? It's pain. You watch that have a tendency. What comes up? Your container. People have different containers. Some people, their containers, I'm going to push through. Yeah, push through. That's a habit tendency. You think you're practicing, you're not practicing. You're reinforcing your habit tendency of resistance, aggression. Some people's habit tendency, pain, difficulty, I can't do it. This is not for me. I'm not doing enough. I just can't. No? Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Some other people's have a tendency is problem-solving type. Maybe if I twist the method this way, this one, I'm not focusing on pain, talk to myself about it. It's distracting. Some people's habits like that. So whatever comes up, see right through that. So, okay. Let's go. Let's see where it takes me. Where is it? 3 places, 4, 5. Out of all those places, maybe just one. And then go through the steps. And then you would have, that's practice. You will have whatever difficulty that you encounter, you transform it into the path. That's what I mean. When I said the Buddha, whatever he encounters, transform into path. My teacher, whatever he experienced, transform it to path. He has insights, wisdom generated from the experience, whether it's good or bad. You know, Dharma Mountain. We began that 10 years. So 10 years, Cyrus? 10 years to build numerous, countless obstacles. Chicago branch is just beginning that journey of experiencing obstacles. First, the neighbors, and then the government. We're building Dharma Mountain on the landslide hillside. The foundation that need to be done, architectural solutions to. So this, Taiwan is a subtropical. When it rains, mud, trees fall, rocks fall. It's just whole land. We change 3 architects. Numerous resubmission and then rejected. Resubmission, change this, rejected. Again, my teacher, insight. He became like an expert in all kinds of architecture, all kinds of foundational issues. Yeah. And because of the obstacles, he began to give teachings to government people. Yeah. City commissioners, mayors, I remember being his attendant, we had to prepare the food extra good for them because they're elite, 精英. So the bed, he has us, monastics, like upside down, preparing bed for these people. So what are they supposed to do? Food, everything. What are you doing? Let me adjust different posture. You should sit on a higher cushion. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And because of that, the elites, the government, the corporate, the different people. Movie stars too. Taiwan, different places, so start to come. So then socially accepted. Socially accepted. Then the submission to the government. Approved. Like difficulties draw out the resources, your potentials, possibilities. Right? The way you see it. So all the difficulties come to my teaching, it turns to beautiful opportunities, flowers, all the arrows, knives. Yeah, it was not normal. My teacher is something else. I never met someone like that. The level of congruence, body, speech, and mind. Never met anyone like that. I've seen him on stage, backstage, difficulty, pleasant, very unique person. So we learn to do that. So the ways in which we encounter things, don't make it into a thing. Opportunities. See? Do you understand? Yeah. Everything. Opportunity. Everything. Now to the text. Does all that rubbish? How many minutes did I waste? Oh my God, 58 minutes. All that is actually prelude to Hongzhi's text. I wasn't planning on speaking so much. Let's check out the text. Let me read it. The acupuncture needle of seated meditation. Really fascinating topic. The way Hongzhi named this text, this poem, verse, acupuncture needle. Anyway, the essential point of all the Buddhas, the critical essence of each and every ancestor, is this: knowing without encountering things, illuminating without opposing conditions. Knowing without encountering things, knowing is inherently subtle. Illuminating without opposing conditions, the luminosity is naturally wondrous. This knowing is inherently subtle. How? It does not involve discriminating thoughts. That's why. This illuminating is naturally wondrous. There are no signs of haste. Without discriminating thoughts, it is not due, but singular. Without any signs whatsoever, it illuminates without any grasping, yet it goes on knowing. And he has a poem, 4-line stanza. The water, so clear, transparent to the bottom. Late, fish have yet to appear. Some people translate it as fish swim slowly. The sky so vast, without boundaries, distant, out of sight. The birds leave no traces. It's beautiful, right? Very profound. First, the topic. This word, the Chinese word is 真. This is the ancient character to the character for acupuncture needle. This character was first used probably during the Warring States, which is 5th century BCE. The radical is bamboo. That's because in ancient time, the acupuncture sharp objects made out of bamboo. Sometimes stone. They use stone, grind it. But Hongzhi here, that's 5th century, 4th century, 3rd century, anyway, during the warring period. 战国时代, they used this character. Later, it evolved as acupuncture evolved. They start to make it out of metal. So the radical change, like the character for acupuncture needle now doesn't look like this. This is an ancient character. This ancient character, like many Chinese characters, is very rich in meaning. On the one hand, it has the meaning of acupuncture. And what does acupuncture do? Acupuncture is an ancient therapeutic practice of healing the human body holistically based on the meridians of body, where the energy flows through and the blood flows. So if you want to cure some illness, unlike our modern conception, if you have an elbow pain, you're just going to rub the elbow. If you have a headache, rub the head. Acupuncture is not like that, because the whole body works in symmetry, in alignment. So if you have a headache, they may not put a needle in your head. They may put it like somewhere else, right? To use influence impacting this area to channel it into, right? So the blockage may not be at the head. So the metaphor here is seated meditation. Problem and the antidote to an illness, what people think, imagine what seated meditation should be. Hongzhi talks about the essential practice of seated meditation, the principle, not the posture. Just like if you have a headache, the problem may not be the head, not the external form. The problem lies somewhere else. And this whole text points to that somewhere else. I'll talk about it in a minute. So on the one hand, this word 真 has the meaning of acupuncture needle. On the other hand, 真 also refers to admonition, guidance. It has this meaning, principle. So it's this double meaning. It's a very clever use of words. So it could be translated as admonition, advice, guidance on how to truly engage in seated meditation. On the other hand, it's an antidote to the illness of how people think meditation is. Right? Now, in the text, he doesn't mention meditation at all. Why? Because Zazen, 坐禅, has nothing to do with postures. In the Chan tradition, 坐, za in Japanese, 禅, Zen, Zazen. In the Chan tradition, 坐, Chan, 坐 means seated, 坐, seated. Seated means encountering external things unmoved. You're not defined by that. Someone call you a jerk. What's in his brain? Jerk. It's nothing to do with you. Right? Difficulties come, problems, struggle, obstacles. Right? You're not defined by obstacles. It's all good. You can call it obstacles, you can call it opportunities. You see? That's the meaning of 坐. What about Chan or Zen? Zazen, 坐禅. In the Chan tradition, Chan means freedom. Freedom. So externally, not swirled around by causes and conditions, difficulties. Internally, no containers. You see your self-nature. Where's this from? Platform Sutra. This whole chapter talking about this. It's a principle. Right? So it's nothing to do with posture. Everything to do with your perception, your experience, how you carry yourself. Whether you're standing, sitting, lying, reclining, or sitting, walking, going to the bathroom. Right? You puncture a needle. The problem people have with meditation is they think this is practice, whereas difficulties, struggles, that's not practice, that's just life. You know? Life, all of it is practice. So what is the essential point of all the Buddhas? The critical essence, teaching of all the ancestral lineage masters. Here it comes. Knowing without encountering things. And the things should be italicized. Right? Things. That's what we do, isn't it? We make everything into a thing. Everything becomes a thing. Not a single thing. Not a single thing. Hongzhi is so clever. Not a single thing is not that you're in oblivion. You don't know what's going on. If awakening is that easy, very simple. All of you just line up. I take a hammer, give a nice crack. You go into a coma, you're awakened. No, he says, knowing. There's knowing. There's engagement. There's intimacy. There's responsiveness. Yet you don't make it a thing. Silent illumination. Illumination is the responsiveness. Silence, things come to you, like Shakyamuni Buddha, like my teacher, things come to them, all kinds of obstacles, ups and downs, gaining, losing, criticism, come to them and just transforms. It's all good. You see what I'm saying? Not a thing. We make everything into a thing. We think this is this or is that. Reify with words and language. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know. All those times Devadatta tried to sabotage Siddhartha, lifetimes after lifetimes. You don't know. It looks bad. It looks terrible. Horrible person. The Buddha predicts, without him, you're not going to become a Buddha. He's definitely becoming Buddha. Imagine you are fostering the future Buddha. I'm not saying all of you should become jerks to all the people. I'm training you to become, Buddhas. Don't do that, right? But the how you transform circumstances. So from the Buddhist perspective, Devadatta become all the difficulties. Don't fixate into this or don't know. Open. Wonderful, wondrous, marvelous. You don't know what's going to happen. Don't think you know. Some people call you, give you trouble. You don't know. They may be having a bad day. Actually, it may not have anything to do with you. Zilch. It's just. So when you're not reactive, you're not making a thing, you're knowing a deep sense of connection. Knowing without encountering things. 不处事而知. Next line. Illuminating without opposing conditions. Isn't that what we do? Once we name it into a thing, and then we, like some of the habit tendencies as I mentioned earlier, some people, they're the fighting type. They're the fighting type. Typically don't like to plow through it. Resistance. Plow through it. It's always going to be there. You're the one making it into a thing. And here. That's like painting. How many of you do art? No? It's like painting a tiger, and then you look at it, like, oh, you become scared. You painted it. It's just painting. That's what we're doing. Do you know the metaphor? Yeah. Why are you painting it that way? Because you tend to have tigers in your mind. So when you see that, I remember, it's very funny. When I first came to America, I didn't know what the middle finger means. No idea. It's not in my mind. I don't have that category. My aunt picked us up from the airport. Terrible driver. You know, Asian drivers, terrible. But anyway, I'm joking, of course. He's driving. And then this guy, he like cut him off or something. The guy was like, and I'm like, and I think something's on the top of the roof of the car. She's like, no. If you don't understand, if you have no aversion, aggression, seed, you wouldn't have aggression response, right? Cause and effect. Whatever manifests, whether it's aggression or I can't do it, I'm not good enough, I don't have the skill set to deal with this. Defeatist, low. Some other people are managers. You know what I'm talking about, right? The manager mind. Right? That's what comes up. Stop managing. Stop controlling. Managing mind. Always getting into other people's business and getting your own business. All these things. Expose. Don't make it into a thing. When you see it, expose it. See it. Talk. Don't know. Don't know. My habit tendency, and I see it in my life. I'm the fighting type. I have a little bit of managing mind too. Manager. So it comes out when I teach. When I see people having difficulties, I want to help them. Other Zen teachers, I led a co-retreat with other Zen teachers. This Guogu here. You're like an old grandmother. You know, you not only spoon feed your students, you help them chew. Just leave it. So my practice is I see some people experiencing difficulties. It's all good. Lest I have a tendency to, I want to do it for you. I want to help you. I want to make sure you understand the method. I want to help you chew. Here's a little food. Um, don't do that. You know? So seeing mistakes, like raising kids, for example, sometimes they need to fall down. They need to fall down. You don't want to create scenarios that they fall down. Don't do that. But sometimes they need to. If you protect them too much, they won't grow. They won't grow. They won't mature. They'll always be little kid. Do you know what I'm talking about? How many mothers here? Fathers. When push comes to shove, important thing now, you're there. You're always present. Don't stop managing. You know what I'm talking about, right? Stop managing your kids. Stop dictating. Yeah, I know your intention's good. You never had it when you were a child, so now you're going to give it to them. You make sure. Don't do that. The method of raising them should come from them, not from what you want. Come from them. What needs to be done, what can be done. Circumstances, causes, and conditions. Adapt, respond. Go. So here, it's just like very one common response, just opposing conditions. But that's not it. Trust me, there's so many different kinds of habit tendencies. And you know what I'm talking about. Through practice, what comes up when you encounter difficulties? That's exactly. Thankful. You should be thankful. You should be thankful. Okay. Now I see it. If you're careful, attentive, attune yourself to it, you will see patterns. Every time you encounter this, same kind of response come up. Same. Expose. It may not be opposing conditions. It could be something else. Later. 不处事而知，不对缘而照. And he further elaborates. That's the punchline. Just these two lines. That's the essential point of all the Buddhas. The critical essence of all the ancestral teaching. Just that. What is that? Don't make anything into a thing. Yet responsive. Responsive, yet don't oppose. Right? And the solutions to all the circumstances should come from the circumstances itself, not you projecting with the managing mind, dictating or placating or fighting. So only you will know. The path is within you. Your path is different. What comes up? Be attentive to what comes up. When you think you know something, you're already gone. Like the Buddha, Malankya-Putra, when I was talking to one of his. Malankya-Putra is old. It's what we call a silver dragon. White hair. Silver dragon, one of them asked. He left home late. So he goes to the Buddha and says, Buddha, can you just give me some brief, condensed essential teaching the Buddha is giving, that teaching. Says Kebucha, after living a whole lifetime, is there something that you haven't seen that you really want to see? Says, no, I've seen enough. Is there something that you haven't heard and you really want to hear? No. What about taste? Is there some food that you really want to eat and you haven't tasted yet? You really, I'm over it. You don't have any craving for any of that? No. It's supposed to be essential teaching. This is right there. That attitude. First point. Second, it says, when you see form and you're experiencing actual form, you've lost mindfulness. When you hear sound and you're defined by that, you know what I mean by defined by that? Like people say, hey, you jerk. You're responding. Jerk is like someone give you a middle finger. Oh. You're not defined by that. If you're not defined by it, the Buddha said, then you're not in it. You're not engrossed in it. That's the essential teaching. Sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, thought. Not defined by it, not in it. Yet responsive. That's what Hongzhi is talking about. Essential teaching of all the Buddhas. Critical essence, lineage masters. Engage, nothing sticks. Responsive, without reifying, grasping. And we begin that in the simplicity of how we relate to our sitting. It's like that. Whatever comes up, nothing sticks. Talk. You're feeling total. You're not defined by it. If you're not defined by it, you're not in it. The Buddha said, that's the ending of suffering. Just look it up. Kebucha. Sutta. But Hongzhi, being kind grandmother, they will elaborate. Right? Knowing without encountering things. What kind of knowing is that? Subtle. Inherently subtle. This word subtle has the nuance of sublime. So there is something positive there. Subtle. Subtlety. Knowing without encountering things, don't make it into a thing. If Guogu were to translate it, it's wondrous. You're interested, right? You're interested. You don't fix it into put it in a container. Oh, you're just like this. No. I remember one time, it was very, very moving for me. I left my teacher. I left my teacher. And when I came back, I apologized. Sorry. Tears. Shifu said to me, Shifu was my teacher, says, I see you as you are now. I don't hold you against whatever you did in the past. Whatever that happened. But it was so moving for me So touching because I couldn't let go. I couldn't let go. It was a burden. I loved him dearly. But because of circumstances, I had to leave him. When I came back, I was still holding on to that. And just by that word, it says, released. I was released. That's a teacher. A teacher doesn't hold you against whatever you did. Is he stupid? Does he have amnesia? No, he knows exactly what you did. He knows exactly what you did, what you didn't do. But where is that self? Where is that? It's not here. I see you as you are now. Right. So a good teacher see you interest, open, receptive as you are. No judgment. No judgment. If you've done something wrong, you repent. You know that, right? It's your practice. That's your business. The teacher may suggest you to do that, but they accept you as you are. Safe. It doesn't want anything from you. Just like Malankya Putra. Is there anything you really want, you still haven't experienced, it doesn't want anything. Desireless. First principle. Second, don't make anything into a thing. Accept everyone, everything as they are. Is there wrongdoing? Yeah. Suggestion to it in the heart. Talk. You know, like wrongdoings that we've done. Maybe you've been a jerk to someone. So repent. Apologize. Don't just repent in front of the Buddha, piece of wood. And then to that person, I've already repented. But to that person, live, still alive, you see him. Real repentance is to that person. You repent. That's the Buddha. You repent. Change. And then something will release. If you hide it, conceal it, it will gnaw at you. Because you're holding on to it. You're making it into a thing. So open. Avail yourself. Change. While you change, don't carry the burden. Release it. That's the true meaning of repentance. Release. Open. Change. So my teacher used to say, precepts, having precepts to break, that's a bodhisattva. If you have no precepts, you're not even a practitioner. Right? So precepts kind of like meant to be broken. Right? Now, don't purposefully break precepts. Right? But if you already observe precept perfectly, you're probably not a human being. You're probably is a Buddha already, full-fledged, Shakyamuni Buddha. So precept is a guidance. When we have some guidance, it's better than having no guidance, no handrails, off track, no track. In this cesspool of a world, samsara, it's good to have tracks. It's good to have principle. It's good to have method. It's good to have practice. If you just do what you want, it's just another maggot in the cesspool. You don't want to be maggots. How many of you want to be maggots? You want to be bodhisattvas. So having precept to break is normal. Don't purposely break them. Use it as a guide. Knowing without encountering things, the knowing is inherently subtle. The profundity and depth of the precepts, you will be able to, you will come to realize. Precept, when you have a guidance, then anything that's not according to that guidance are exposed. once you expose, you can embrace and work through it. Then your practice becomes subtle. Does that make sense? If you have no guidance, then you don't know what you're doing. See? Illuminating without opposing conditions, the luminosity is naturally wondrous. So the responsiveness, when you're not fixated on like a one-track mind way of responding to things, when you're flexible, adaptive, like a mirror, because you have no fixed things, when you're responsive, that response, luminosity, metaphorically speaking, wondrous, wondrous. Whatever sentient beings need, you're right there. Respond. There's no hindrance. Your mind is not cluttered. So when you're listening to someone, you're deeply listening to someone, intimately connected. When you're seeing, you don't have fixed containers, just experiencing. When it needs a response, just response. Responding from that place of freedom. Right? Like a mirror with no fixed images. So that kind of luminosity, wondrous, wondrous. To dumb it down a little more, to be a little more explicit, Hongzhi continues. Right? What does he mean by this? Encountering subtle. Why is it subtle? Because it doesn't involve discriminating thoughts. That's why. He can't be more blunt than this. Do you get it? First, his teaching is like, wow, mysterious. Is he talking about supernatural power? No, he's not talking about that. Layer by layer, he peels it so you actually get the meat, get the substance. He can't be any more explicit than this. Discriminating thought. Why do we have discriminating thought? Selfing, othering. That's discriminating thought. That's why it's subtle. That's why the luminosity is wondrous. You're not responding from a place of self-referentiality. You're not boxing people into other. So, why is it subtle? This knowing is inherently subtle because it does not involve discriminating thoughts. This illuminating is naturally wondrous because there are no signs of haste. This word, so, it's a kind of classical Chinese literary term. Hongzhi is like a genius. By age 8, he was able to recite the 5 classics by heart. 5 classes is what the adult study in order to enter into civil service examination. So this guy is a genius. So his use of words, his choice of words, very nuanced. His mastery. So that's what happens when a genius becomes enlightened. They come out with stuff like this. When a person is not so genius, they do shout like Lin Ji. It's like, that's what they know how to do. You can't fault them. Everyone's different. It's all good. Sometimes you need some scolders. Sometimes you need some literary, elusive, illustrative, metaphorical, beautiful language that suck you right into the vortex. the essence of the Buddhas and the essential critical point of the ancestors. This word zhao has the meaning of premonition. It's a before things happen. Before things happen. I translate it as signs. Signs. Like if you see smoke, somewhere is fire. In neuroscience, there's a term, I can't remember. It's a predictive process. It functions from discriminating mind. Hmm? Inference is a kind of layman term. This is a technical neuroscientific term. The function, I don't remember the term, it's going long. I don't remember the term, but the function is predictive. You know how sometimes when you see a green apple, and you take a bite into it, say, oh, it's sweet. Why would you think it wouldn't be sweet? Because it's green. Every single act that we have, your mind is already predicting what's happening. It's calculating, learning, adapting. Do you believe that? Once I find the term, I'll send it to Iris. You can share with everyone. Look it up. That's how we're neurologically wired. We're wired to predict what's happening. So we have all kinds of mental representations. When you see someone, your mind is already discriminating. Someone with a baseball cap, backwards maybe, pants halfway down, walking with a stride. You have some idea about that person already. In fact, you probably think you know what kind of music that person listens to. And when you find out that person likes classical music, you're like, oh, what do you know? Surprised. Why would you be surprised? Why? Because the way they look? Discrimination. Yeah. Like when I came to America, living in an upper middle class neighborhood, everyone, no Chinese family, no Asian family of any kind. They see me, they think I'm Bruce Lee. I must know Kung Fu. Now, I used to be able to kick really high. Really high. Where's that from? Sorry to say, figure skating. I can do splits. Nothing to do with Kung Fu. Right? Everyone think I know Kung Fu. They want to challenge me. I can't just play along with it because I don't want to be picked on. And I kick. Wow, I love Bruce Lee. But the kick has no power at all. No. It's kind of elegant, in fact. What? When you're actually fighting, black guys, figure skating. I took first place in Taiwan. Yeah, my age group. Wear tights and everything. One-piece suit. Double accent.
How long were you?
I did it up till 11, up till 10, 11. Double axel. Can't quite make triple axel, but double axel. Yeah, no Kung Fu. People see you, they judge you. They judge you. They see Asian face, they see black face, color, all kinds of emotions. It's called microaggression. Racial profile, whatever. We have all kinds of stuff. We have all kinds of new terms that's popping up. But human beings have always had this ability. That's our strength. That's what made Homo sapiens able to survive among all the other five type of species. Neanderthals, Homo, blah, 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 all these, only Homo sapiens, because are predicted, able to single out danger. That's what caused us our creativity. I do this, then with that, maybe I can start a fire. Wheels, maybe I shouldn't build a square wheel. Maybe I should build a round one. Hey, it works better. All these inventions, it's our strength, also is our weakness. So this word, sign, why is this illumination, the natural functioning, wondrous? Because there are no signs. In other words, you can't fake it. You can't fake awakening. Right? So I have no discrimination. You just forcing yourself not to discriminate. So a person who is awakened, the way they respond to things is they don't have fixed notions. Are they stupid? No. They're very clear. They know, even on a very deep level, the intimate connection that they feel. But they don't box in whatever they experience with anticipatory, calculative notions and ideas. Don't know. The mind is free. The mind is free, like the Buddha said to Malangkyaputra. When you see someone, when you see things, you have no fixed idea. You're not defined by it. In other words, you see something, you don't generate thought on top of that. Second thought. No, you know what you're seeing. Don't generate. You're not defined by it. Therefore, you're not in it, engrossed, entangled in it. Entangled. Not entangled, liberation. So, haste is just one example that Hongzhi cites. What is haste? Jump into conclusions. How many of you do that? Maybe one of you should be raising hands, right? Face it, you'll see it. When you jump into conclusions, relax, release. Don't. So now the two key terms. He can't be any more explicit in this. One, discriminating thought. Don't do that. That's how knowing becomes subtle. Experiencing. Two, illumination, response. How does response become wondrous? Stop boxing people and things into fixed notions. Right? Don't anticipate. You can plan. You can calculate. You can do all kinds of things. Words and language themselves are not a problem. It's just that you don't identify. You don't fixate. Right? It's all good. It's all good. The essential point of all the Buddhas. Critical essence, ancestral masters. And then he really like grandmotherly heart. He expressed it even more. Let's see. Without discriminating thoughts. Okay, you explain. Now he's going to unpack what discriminating thoughts are. Discriminating thoughts, duality. Dual. This, that, gain, loss, having, lacking, wanting, needing, good, bad, birth, death, beginning, end, virtuous, unvirtuous. Yeah, judgment. This Chinese is wondrous. the Chinese of this. It's like the meaning of this is no pairs. No pairs. Like having lacking as a pair. Gain and loss as a pair. Right? Praise and blame, that's a pair. That's how the mind, binary, the mind tend to engage with the world. And the words and language are built on binaries. See? So you use something that's not actually reality, trying to describe reality. Like, futile task. Words can kind of point to this freedom. How? Tell you, don't engage in discriminating thought. Things are not either black or white. Everything's gray. Everything's nuanced. Different shades. 50 Shades of Gray. No, sorry. I hear this is a very interesting show. I never watched it, but every time I say it, interesting, I say Shades of Gray, everyone ha 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 start laughing. Why is it? No answer. Something promiscuous, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Everything's nuanced. Just when you think is one thing, it could be another. Ready, open, open. So what's discrimination? Engaging polarity, duality. What about science? What do you mean science? Anticipatory, calculative, predictive. Without any science whatsoever, it illumines without any grasping. Yet, was unknowing.
You say something about the word knowing in Chinese. There must be lots of words for knowing as there are in many languages. So is there something carried by that word?
Yeah, the word knowing here is 知. One Chan master describes, so awakening, different Chan masters describe it in their own way. Some just bypass describing it, just give a shout. Others try to give poetic language. One Chan master used the word 知, 宗密, Chan master 宗密. But this 知, this knowing, what it refers to is this intrinsic quality. Metaphorically speaking, this luminosity, this clarity. Clarity. It doesn't need a name or label. That is the natural intrinsic function of wisdom. So this 知 is linked to responsiveness to wisdom. 知. Ordinary lay usage is 知. No, I know something. Know implies a thing. So Hongzhi is playing with the word, knowing without encountering things. So he's pointing not an ordinary secular notion of 知, knowing, knowledge. Knowledge is dead. 知 is the natural functioning of wonderment. Plato, I know, Socrates' student, right? Aristotle's teacher, Plato. Plato once said, wonderment is the beginning of philosophy. So you have that tradition. And if he says, can you imagine he says, knowledge is the beginning of philosophy. Dead, dead. Book knowledge, dead. No knowledge. No knowledge. As soon as you think you know something, I've acquired this, you're dead. There's no possibility anymore. Wonderment is what keeps it alive. So you. Wonderment, this 知, unsettles knowledge.
Does that mean there's no subject of that wonderment? I mean, knowledge is possessed by a subject.
Linguistically, grammatically, in English language, yes. But in Chinese language, we don't need a subject. Yeah. So this natural functioning of this moment, 知, wonder, open. It's not, he didn't say knowledge, it's just the ability, potential, possibilities. It's open. That's the beginning. Same thing with koan, huatou practice. I used to use the word doubt sensation, but it's confusing even for the Chinese. It's confusing. The feeling, the flavor, 情, 情思, feeling is that of wonderment, not knowing. And adapting to whatever psychosomatic state that you're in. For example, if a person is in this qing and this kind of mental, physical pliancy, grounded, rooted, that wonderment will adapt to that. It's like water pouring into a vase. Whatever shape the vase is, the water adapts to it. So if a person is very grounded, that wonderment will manifest as awe, open, spacious curiosity, not knowing. If a practitioner, usually beginners are tense, it was so tense. So the wonderment manifests as angst, tension, like a short tidal wave. As soon as it's over, nothing. You get exhausted. True seasoned practitioners, the wonderment lasts for months. Months. Not what is it? You drive yourself crazy. Master Xu Yun was in there for 3 months. He was in a state of unified state. Everything engulfed into this sense of trickling stream of just not knowing. He can still function. It's during the ongoing period. Summer rain season. Doing this, doing that, daily chores. Someone was pouring hot tea, made a mistake, overflowed, burned his hand, suddenly dropped the cup, shattered, awakening. So, 知, wonder, 以 the 滋味 adapt to whatever state that you're in. It's the feeling tone. It's the flavor that's matter. The words that encapsulate a particular koan, particular huatou, that's just the framing of it. It's the feeling tone that's most important. Right? You feel intimate connection to that. It rings deeper inside you. So wonderment, it's in this word, 知. Right? It doesn't need a subject. It's the natural responsiveness of our mind. It's not dead. We respond. And Hongzhi has another word for it, illumination. See?
Sounds like she can mean both knowing and not knowing. Because here it's knowing, but that's something you just said, it's the wonder.
Yeah, if you want to use words, knowing, not knowing, yeah, all knowing, sense of openness embedded in it. It's always not knowing. Then there's possibilities. As soon as you know something, you close the door. That's it. I already know. Right? So true knowing, curiosity, sometimes wonderment, aging, manifests as a sense of longing. Longing. It's like missing something. Not explicit, just something in the back of your mind, unresolved. So, not knowing is there. Thank you for asking. It's word知. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, opposing conditions. What does that mean? Like, which is opposing to which? What is that?
Self opposing to other. Response. 语言面对 you speak Chinese?
Yeah.
面对种种因缘，反对它，抗拒它，压抑它。For example, your wandering thought. I don't like. 对缘. See, you oppose it. You oppose it.
Yeah, because in Chinese, 对, I thought it's more like encounter, right? So why is it opposing?
When you opposing comes in pairs, you have gaining, you have losing. Having, you got lacking. I like this, I don't like that. Hidden within desire, there's already hatred. The three poisons, 三毒, 贪嗔痴, it's two sides of the same coin that come from ignorance. When you like something, chase after something, you already know what you don't like. So opposing, it's always there. When you privilege something, that means you don't want something else. See? So these, what are they? Habits. 框框. When you have these 框框, habit tendencies, right? You have to expose that. That's what I said. Some people is the defeatist. Some people is the fighting type. Whatever things that come up, it's exactly you. Expose that, embrace, release it. Don't oppose it. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. So you're wakeful, you're not sleeping, you're wakeful, you have no fixed notions. The mind is vibrant, alive, fresh. And all that comes from how you practice. If you train yourself to practice, I don't want this, I don't want that. No wonder. All you have is having, lacking. Right? Good, bad. Gaining, losing. Success. Last period, I was kicked ass. Last period was great. This period, let me try to replicate that. Success, failure. It's the same thing. Opposing. See? So you have to, the work that needs to be done is expose all the habit tendencies. Embrace them, because there's a history to why we are the way we are. There's a history to it. All you need to do is just accept it. You don't need to psychoanalyze yourself, find out the exact reason why you're traumatized. Don't need to do that. Just accept, embrace this is the starting point. Just like my teacher, when he sees me, I see you as you are now. I don't need to know your history, why you did that, blah, blah, blah. It's right now. Whatever we face, wherever we are, we bring all of our baggage already, whether we want it or not, all of our baggage into this crescendo of this moment. It culminates in this moment. So interview, for example, I don't need to know your history. How you carry yourself now. Already self-evident. I don't need to know, psychoanalyze you. I don't need to know why. But the antidote is you have to expose, you have to accept, embrace it. There's a history to why. And then you have to work through it. See, work through it. Then you can let go of it. You can be free. See? That's the real work. That's the muck. Work through the muck. In the meantime, we don't think it's muck. That's the paradox. We're already free. Already free? Yeah. I got these interesting patterns. Yeah. Interesting things that come up habitually. Right? Accept that. Work through. Now the poem. This poem stanza is quite interesting. I'll explain it in 2 minutes. Water so clear, transparent. It's the luminosity. That's the exposing. Shining a light on what is present. Right? Late, the fish have yet to appear. The Chinese here, 鱼行迟迟. If you read on the surface level, fish and the verbal form is swim or walk or action, and late, or slow. So the fish is slowly swimming. No. From the practice, if you read it as a Chinese literature, surface meaning is that the fish swims slowly, right? Actually, it's ingenious. Hongzhi phrase, he's a genius. The meaning of this is, what is this late? He's not saying there's no fish in the pond, translucent. He's not saying there's no fish. That would be dead emptiness, lopsided emptiness. What he's saying is, oh, there's fish. It's just that they're not here yet. Just like the birds. It's a parallel. It's a parallelism. Don't wait till you see the bird. What's the bird doing? Sky is so vast, without any boundaries. Distant. Out of sight. The birds left no trace. Are there birds? I'm not saying there's no birds, it's just that you can't see it. In other words, you're looking at the sky. Do birds leave trails? We're not talking about jet airplanes leaving a trail like line. So Master Dongshan, founder of the Caodong school, holds on. Right? He says, someone asked him, what is practice? Trail of the birds. Leave no trace behind. 鸟道. Do birds have trails? No. Leave no trace. You don't see any trace. There's no bird there. But he's not saying that there's no bird. That is the meaning of emptiness. People misunderstand emptiness. Emptiness is absence. No. Neither absence nor you saying existence. Right? Why? Because the function of wisdom is present. The function of wisdom. In response, because there's no fixation, rigidity, like a mirror responding. Whoever stands in front is able to respond. That is the true function of emptiness, selflessness. Yeah. So that is the awakened mind. Silent, yet responsive luminosity. Luminosity, yet wondrous. What's wondrous? No discriminating thought, no containers, no anticipatory signs. You see? Is there a response? Yeah. So it's a very clever way of saying, I'm not saying there are no fish. It's just that you can't see it. They haven't arrived yet. I'm not saying the sky is just vacuous, empty, cloudless. How useful is that? It's a dead, stupid sky, right? Maybe it's opaque. You don't know. Sky is fluid. It's open. All kinds of things can fly through it. It's just that they're not here yet. You don't see it. You see? When it needs to be seen, wisdom functions. When it doesn't, it lies dormant, selfless. That's wisdom. So that's like the heart sutra, no form. It doesn't stop there, precisely because there's no form. It's empty. Emptiness precisely form is precisely. It's like this. I'm not saying there's no fish or sky, birds. It's just that they haven't arrived yet, right? Fish haven't arrived. What are the birds? They're already gone, distant, out of sight, out of your sight. Ingenious. Using words and language to demonstrate simultaneity, wisdom and emptiness, emptiness and function. Yet he's not siding with either. Does that make sense? Function.
Strikes me as cool in that last part is that it's something at the same time already and not yet. So that's the junction.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Because time is always moving.
Time is arbitrary. Time is arbitrary. We think it's moving. It's not moving. So the old theory is the Big Bang, the Big Bang happened and then slowly projected. Cosmos is continually expanding. The latest theory I overheard the other day, something like, it's already present. When I heard that, I was like, that's right. Amen. It's already present. It's always been like that. It's just the illusory nature, seem like things are moving. So already free, yet open. Already here, yet not yet. Not yet, yet miraculous. Hongzhi, his mastery of language. Not like Lingji. Someone says, teacher, Lingji is pretty cool. I'm just teasing. But every teacher have their own kind of habit. Someone says, I want to, how do I be free? So wise. Where do you come from? I came from this place. Have you eaten yet? Already had my fill. God. You think you're full? You're full of beep, fill in the blank. Put it down. If you think you got something, put it down. If you think you got nothing, how do I get it? Put it down. Different types of. If you think you want to get something, take away the object. If you think you already have it, take away the subject. Sometimes he yells, take away the subject and the object. Other times, leave it alone. Well, there's some depth to it. It's just that not that like Hongzhi. See? So no need to copy these people. No need to replicate them. You do you. There's already a lot of things to work with. You, all kinds of stuff. Yeah? Free yourself. Free yourself. Okay. That's it for tonight. Question? What have you heard? What did you get out of tonight?
Sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit. Okay. Already free. Mike.
Sanders recipe.
Colonel Sanders.
The secret recipe.
Secret recipe. Okay. Right. Anyone else? Something that you can use right away. You can use right away.
It's all good. It's
Huh?
all good.
Curious.
Curious awareness. Yeah. Open. You don't know. Anyone else?
The wondrous nature of this luminosity regarding the mind, regarding the nature.
Okay, wondrous luminosity with regard to nature. Whose nature?
Our nature.
Sam's nature. This is talking about your house. Hongzhi is talking about your house. He's not describing his house. He knows it. They don't need to describe his house. He's putting into words so you can tell me this is your house. This is your prerogative. This is your treasure inside you. Dig it up. Discover it. Okay? This is your original face. This is your freedom. This is your true self. Yeah? You're not defined by anything. Why would you let something define you like a pronoun? So much. You choose one pronoun, just one. I'm not, it sounds like I'm making fun, maybe a little bit, but you're so much more. There's so much freedom. That's the point. You're so free. Why should you define yourself? Anything. Why do you have to accept one container? Nothing contains you. Yet when you practice, you'll discover all kinds of containers. And that's good. It's not obstacle, right? It's opportunity. Here we go. Practice. Any other takeaways?
Wonder, not knowing.
Wondrous not knowing. Tomorrow I'll talk about wondrous. To be continued.
It's for America.
Thank you.
I was waiting for you to do that all night. He's kind of familiar with.
Okay, please read. Okay. And use a mic. Do you have a mic there?
I do not.
I do not. Okay.
I can stand up.
All right.
We pray for
For the flourishing of the Dharma, for peace in the world, for the joy and contentment of all people, for the freedom and ease of body and mind. May sentient beings suffer from the suffering.
May
The vows of the doers be fulfilled. Okay. Massage a little bit and fold your towels. Stand up.
One more thought with you about this thing. The opposing, I think, would be subject and object, right? So he's talking As you've said many times about other things, it is not in a separate object of trust.
Not self-honoring.
Yeah. And that would be opposing, and that's also why it's subtle, because it's subtle, because it's not falling into the
Binaries.
Yeah.
Thank you.
learn Chinese, but it's too late.
Mickey? Yeah. Please come